today we're doing something really fun, something which will break you out of any feeling of rigidity when you approach your landscapes. We're going to do a semi-abstract landscape from a reference photo, all in one line, one long, swooping, simple line. And that line is going to let us float our colours on top and really quickly just fill this page with something really beautiful. All you're going to need is a waterproof pen. I've got a fountain pen here, and you can check out my waterproof inks in the links in the sort of supplies links below. A brush, I've got a nice big size 16 round, and a little selection of watercolours. And we'll mostly be using greens, blues and yellows today, but anything you have will do. This is semi-abstract. You can make of it what you would like. And all we're trying to do is take our scene. You can see the reference up there. Take that scene, find the key elements about it, and grab that onto our page. So what are the key elements here? Well, for me, it's the layers. You've got the layer at the back, the sky. You've got this kind of middle layer of these trees. And then coming forward, you've got this one set of trees on the left, and your kind of little shapes of grassy fields or wheaty fields coming forward. So I'm going to start by identifying those layers, and as we do those layers we will be introducing the shapes within them. And that might sound like a lot of waffle, it might sound difficult, it's not. All I'm going to do is actually start over here, this kind of middle foreground layer of the tree and the bush. And so let's just grab it. So we find it and we just find that really simple shape. And what is it? It's basically an oval. And then underneath this kind of bush is basically like a circle. And then we, from there, can just start finding out other little shapes. So coming forward, you've got this layer of grass. So we just get that sort of approximate area and get that texture of it coming forward. Then we can go back to our next layer, that kind of golden layer, which is just divided by these little tufts again of grass. And then we've got one very thin little layer underneath the sort of background trees that we were talking about. And we can just add in little abstract swirls and things. It's anything goes really. It's your art. Have a bit of fun with it. And then we are back into this kind of distant area. We now find those simple shapes which make up these trees back here. For example, you can see a little collection of them. Then it comes to this kind of almost triangle of trees going up and down until it reaches where we were before. Having done that, we can kind of reinforce those previous little shapes, layers that we've made already. Just reinforce it with another line if we like. And believe it or not, we've basically already finished the bare bones structure, the kind of skeleton. It's all we need to start producing a really lovely scene on top of that. I always say that, and then I think of one more thing I might want to do. And there is always one more thing. At some point you have to stop, but I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to come really far forward, and I'm going to come into this close area where we sort of see these white, perhaps daisy-like flowers, and we can get those as our final shape. And then I'll add my signature at the bottom, linking all of this very abstract, very simple landscape, but suddenly it will just come to life with a little wash of colour. So call this step 1 done. And in step 2, we're going to grab, as we said, our colours. I'm going to start in that lovely sort of pleasant sky. Little splash of water. And I'm actually going to start with a little bit of cobalt turquoise. Lost my words there. Cobalt turquoise. Just splash that in, and then I can move it around, and we get this faint glowing effect in the sky, because I'm not sure the sky actually has very much more going on than that. It's a very faint sky. I didn't say at the beginning, this is a photo taken in Sweden quite early in the morning, so not a huge amount of sky, not a huge amount of sort of sunlight coming through, but also you can see no clouds either. I'm just going to gradually build up a little bit more interest just by touching in, splashing in some watery cobalt and cobalt turquoise. Don't want to overdo it. Even this might be too much, so I just add a bit of water, move it around, and then again splash around and let that kind of just do its thing. Now, when we are abstracting, we have decisions to make. They are decisions like, do we use the real colours or do we use colours to evoke a mood? Do we even paint it? Do we leave it blank? So I'm going to start by leaving this layer back here, totally blank. In reality, it's rather bold and dark, isn't it? But I'm going to just skip it. We'll come forward and see if we go back to that or not. First thing I'm going to use a bit of green gold for the layer in front. So what I'm going to now do is divide our layers up. Got the green gold, and then in front of that we've got some Hansa yellow. And then in front of that I'm going to go back to the green gold. Going to let those sort of blend and mingle. Back to that green gold, but this time a bit more texture. So we'll take the Hansa yellow and a bit of cobalt and indigo. And now we can sort of find these darker ideas. And again, if we were trying to paint or draw this as a realistic image, what would we do? We'd find every little dark area and we'd go up and down. We'd find all these vertical areas and we'd delineate them really properly. But we're not, we're abstracting. So what we're trying to do is show that there are these dark areas. In the foreground, we've got dark. In little specks in the back, we've got a little bit of dark. We've got sort of lines coming this way in a couple of places. All we're trying to do is get those ideas, not the exactness of them, but those general ideas, and let them sort of be simple on the page, not overdo things. We can come back and as things have spread and blended and merged out, we might want to intensify them. We might even want to come back whilst things are still wet with our lighter colour, our green gold, and just drop that in and push back some of that darkness. Do you see how adding in that pigment on top, it literally does push away at those dark areas. That pigment with the water is fighting each other. Sometimes they blend together, sometimes they have a little argument, they fight each other, and it produces that kind of effect where you can keep your pigments mobile, moving and pushing around. In the back, just bring out a little bit more of that green gold feel, and maybe a little bit more of that Hansa yellow feel in the foreground. Now I've just picked up an awful lot of paint there. You can actually see there's a layer of paint on my page. I don't want that, so I'm going to lift it gently up, and maybe I'll just use it elsewhere. No need to waste it, to wash it away. Let's just use it elsewhere so that we're not being wasteful with our paint. A few little splashes around. And now that's the end of our sort of step 2, our first layer of colours. We're going to let that dry and decide, well, are we actually done, or is there something else we do want to do? So here we are, and we're actually looking rather lovely, I think. This looks complicated, but was so easy to do. All we did, split it into layers. Maybe we can do a few more little touches just again to elevate it, to bring it out even more. So I'm going to go back in with my little green gold, which I mixed with a bit of indigo and cobalt, getting that kind of murky green. And then, you know what we can do? We can start suggesting. I'm using a smaller brush now. We can just suggest some of these little vertical marks, these little ideas of blades of grass that we were talking about before. Just a few here and there, just little touches, just to give that sensation more than anything else. Again, we can maybe murky that up even more, get some more indigo into there, and we can introduce some of these dark areas in the back again, overlapping with where our dark colours have sort of flowed already. We can use that as well, just to touch in around some of these little blades of grass, as we're calling them, and let those colours just blend a bit. I don't want these hard edges though, so I'm going to clean my brush, dry it off a little bit, and just bring my brush underneath where we've added those colours so that it softens them out, makes them less sort of just brutal hard edges. Don't want those added in at the last minute. We want nice, soft, semi sort of abstract shapes. And there we go. A few splashes of yellow, I think, can lift a few of these foreground areas. And then we've got a decision to make here through this midground. Are we happy with it as it is? Do we want to do anything else with it? Well, what would be nice would be to separate it out from, so you've got this area and this area, which are two different areas, they're two different distances. So you've often seen me do this. All I'm going to do is some very gentle hatching. Very gentle hatching just to separate foreground from background. And that very simple technique in a quick abstract landscape like this is often absolutely all that you need. You might, having got the pen out, you might now choose to use the pen to create those real areas of contrast. Even back here where we've got these little tufts, you can just sort of block them in a few places to start just lifting the lights through darks, because things in watercolor only look light. When in life, in everything, things only look light if there's something dark next to them. Otherwise it's all just one tone. We might even do the same within areas of this sort of swirling massive tree. That just a couple of touches could be fun, just to again elevate things just a little bit. Don't want to overdo it, don't want to turn it into a sort of meme, a little bit sort of trite or contrived. So I think that is probably enough right there. I'm going to put my initials on and do one last thing. I just feel the sky perhaps isn't busy enough to be noticed amongst all of this. So just little splashes like that, tiny little splashes, and tiny little splashes of cobalt blue as well. And just bring them in over the grass as well, so things feel more unified. And just like that, very simple, semi-abstract landscape, all in one line, done. And just remember how easy this was, how quick we can just produce these simple shapes. You could do the same idea with any landscape. Just find the important bits, remove the bits which aren't important, find those key layers coming forward, and apply colours which are meaningful to you. If you enjoy this kind of sketching, then join me on my channel, subscribe, like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And you can also find me on my courses, sketchloose.co.uk. Thanks guys, and see you around. So thank you everyone for watching my little sketching videos. If you enjoy my content, please do subscribe to my channel because it makes me really, really happy. Thanks again.